Hello. And clap. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome back. It's been a minute. My jaw is a bit sore at the moment, so I can't really open my mouth very much. You know? Today we're going to be talking about what kind of cameras you want to start with. And you're looking to buy your first camera, or you're looking to buy your next camera. And you don't know where to go. There's so many choices nowadays with Sony, Canon, there's Nikon, which is kind of making a comeback or going bankrupt, who knows. But I can tell you this, from my experience, you don't have to worry too much about what kind of camera you're getting if you're just starting out. Now, I am currently filming on a Sony. I take my pictures on a Sony. I used to be a huge Canon nerd for a really, really long time. And I used to think that it was all about what the YouTubers use. I used to follow what Casey Neistat used to get. I used to try to do the same type of vlogs, so I used to think that if I get the same equipment, that my content was going to turn out the same, and that's not the case at all. The content is all about your knowledge. Now, I will be doing a little short beginner's crash course with filmmaking and stuff like that, and photography. I'm nowhere near as professional as most of these guys, but I've been able to make a bit of extra cash with what I've learned, and my customer seems to be quite happy, and I'm usually quite happy with my work. So what I wanted to talk to you about is not that. So what I wanted to actually talk about is how to pick a camera. Now we have a couple of contenders here, and I will always recommend somebody to go for a Canon. Now the reason I say Canon is not because of the amount of YouTubers that use it, not because of the name that goes behind the brand, but because of how affordable it is to own a Canon compared to a Sony or a Nikon. Now, I will tell you the advantages of a Sony, of course. I will also tell you the advantages of a Canon. So first up, we're going to start with the Sony. I used to own a Sony A6100 and 61? Yeah, 6100. And it was perfect. It shot 4K. It had all the colors in there. It was perfect. It was tiny. It was compact. But there's an issue with it. Lenses were really expensive. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of your hard-earned money going straight to one piece of lens. And in my opinion, starting off with the Sony can be a good thing, but not a great thing due to it's just not budget friendly. They are great cameras. Now their quality is perfect because all their lenses are made of metal, except for the one that I'm using right now, which are kind of plasticky, and they were still not affordable. I had to take out a loan to do it. Yeah, Sony's great when it comes to video and some photography. When it comes to affordability, the cheapest you can find Sony lenses out there, the Sony cameras out there for even 300 to 400 bucks. But the problem is they'll usually not be a DSLR. They'll be either a Cybershot or something small that you can shoot your video on and just go on about your day. And that's completely fine. But if you're looking for a DSLR or a SLR or a mirrorless SLR, it is just not good to start off with, because if it's a hobby that you end up not liking, it just ends up being a big waste of money and time, and nobody wants to do that and spend loads of money thinking that they wasted their money on photography when it's actually an amazing craft that everybody can do. Now I want to talk to you about why Canon is so amazing to start off with. I have a Canon here just to show. It's the A50D. They are quite heavy, but it's a Canon. They'll all have the similar kind of body shape. Great budget cameras, as you can see, because the quality on it will always be consistent across the board. Canon is great to start off with because of all the options they have for you to try on. They have multiple automatic features that would help you take more photos in the style that you're trying to achieve. And their autofocus system is almost perfect across the board when it comes to taking pictures, because it almost tries to see what you see through your eye when you're taking a picture. I started off with a Canon 700D. That was an amazing camera. I've taken so many pictures while traveling. I've done so many videos with it. Features on it did limit my creativity a bit, but it never really stopped me, because wherever I went, I brought my camera and took pictures of things. And my friends used to always get pissed off with me whenever we went traveling, because my camera was always around my neck, and they was always like, "Oh, you're not gonna worry that gets stolen." We'd be in a pub at night, we'd be in a nightclub, and my camera would be with me just in case I get a shot that I wanted. Canon, when it comes to budget, it's a lot more friendly. Their line of the EOS lenses are very wide. You can find lenses for as cheap as 99 bucks, depending on what you're looking for. I actually have something for comparison. Okay, so here is a Nifty 50. Now, if you guys don't know what these are, I will be explaining it on the next video, because I want to do a video on why you should get these lenses as your first set of lens. Now, this is my girlfriend's camera, and I actually convinced her to get the Nifty 50 first. Explain to yourself why. But here, as you can see, Nifty 50. Ooh. Nifty 50. So the Nifty 50 is what people use for when they want to get that nice bokeh in the background, and nice blurry and at the same time sharp pictures, where you get a nice blurry background and the subject that you want is nice and sharp. The Nifty 50 is great. Now, because I had a Canon first, I could acquire this literally a day after I bought my lens, because these retail at 150 bucks, and I think now they're going for 100, where in the Sony Nifty 50, which I recently got, and I've had this camera for a while, a lot less affordable, as they retail at almost double the amount that you would get for the Canon. Now, they are great quality, like I said, they are metal, and Canon is plastic, but at the same time, it's a type of lens, like I said, that if it broke, you'd be okay replacing, because it was a bit pricey, but it wasn't as expensive as most of them can be. Now, so if you are looking to start off, I would definitely recommend the Rebel series. If you are in Canada and US, they're called the Rebel series. If you're in Europe, I call them the 100Ds. So it starts from 600D, 550D all the way to 850D. I actually started shooting at the 600D in college, and that's where my love for photography came from. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna like this, I'm gonna pick a camera. I ended up finding the 700D, and that's around the time I found Casey Neistat, and I started getting all the equipment that he was getting, and then realizing that there's no need for that. So there's actually a little short film that I shot, and it was all shot on the Canon. There's none of it that was shot on a Sony. It's on my channel. I'm gonna link it up here somewhere. And let's give a quick rundown of what we talked about so far. Budget wise, Canon is friendlier. Quality wise, Sony is better, but also more expensive, which in my opinion is a deal breaker when you're just starting out, or you just have this as a hobby. Canon has more bang for your buck in the sense of, if you buy a camera, you're most likely to actually buy more lenses and more equipment for it, because you'll be able to afford it, because you didn't spend most of your money buying the body. Meanwhile, the Sony has more features, like shooting in S-Log, which I'll do, flick it, and that's just raw video. A lot of Canon cameras don't do that, and the ones I usually do are a lot more expensive. But you don't need that when you're starting out, because you're just trying to figure out your footing in creating content. Summarizing, Canon, fantastic to start off with. I would highly recommend anybody. Sony, great to take it up a notch. So when it comes to finding what you want, what you want to start with, I would go towards Canon. So yeah, that's all we have time for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe and all that good shit. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to be posting a couple of photos. I'm kind of trying to change up my style a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to see that come through really soon. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.